We're going to talk about Coke issues. We're going to try to troubleshoot the majority of the problems and try to avoid calling the Coke tech on site. So most of your problems come with the CO2 tanks. We'll get a call that their fountain units, your fountain units are not working, and it's because your CO2 is not turned on. So during the week, we turn them off, so if it has a slow leak, that way it doesn't leak out and you have no CO2 when you walk into your location. So if you see here, you're going to look at your gauge, and here it's in the red, so you know the problem is your CO2 is not turned on. Go ahead and turn it on. If it's on all the way and it's still in the red, your tank is empty. So some locations have both tanks hooked up, and it's just a matter of switching this over to the other tank and making sure it's on. Now it's in the green. If your location doesn't have both of these, you have to change over to the other tank. So you're going to take your wrench and loosen this up, and then until you can get it, usually with your fingers. And I have this one pulled off. You're going to keep the wrench on it. Don't take this off and then tighten it with your hand, then we can't get the wrench back on. So go ahead, keep the wrench on it. Go ahead and screw this on. And then use the wrench to get it as tight as possible, and then go ahead and turn this on. And then another issue is, hey, I changed the tank out and it's still straight syrup coming out of the fountain unit. You have to run the fountain unit so the CO2 runs through the line, sometimes longer than you think it would. So go ahead and just keep running all the flavors with a cup or a bucket until it starts pouring the right way. For whatever reason, people are afraid or don't know how to change the tanks, go ahead and designate somebody. Somebody should know how to change the tanks in the stand. It's, as I just showed you there, it's pretty simple. That way you eliminate any calls to the warehouse or the Coke techs. And then also make sure your tanks are always chained up. Sometimes they might be switched out during the week and the chain comes loose. Always make sure these are chained up for safety reasons. The fire marshal does come around to make sure that these are chained up. Another common problem would be your Coke bib, bag in the box, is not hooked up correctly. So go ahead and make sure you have a secure connection. If the bag is completely empty, go ahead and unscrew the connection. Sometimes the syrup and the sugar, it gets really hard to turn. I would just get a bucket of hot water, and I would soak the connection in it for a minute or two, and then usually the connection will pop right off. To change it, unhook it, and then you pop open a new bag. There's a white cap you unscrew, and then go ahead and screw this on, and make sure you screw it on all the way until it's secure. And then again, you're going to want to run that flavor at the fountain unit, and it might take longer than you expect, but it'll eventually start pouring correctly. And also the lines are labeled, so Coke Zero with Coke Zero. Sometimes when you're changing a couple at one time, it's the Coke and the Diet that get mixed up. Hey, the Coke tastes like Diet. It's because somebody mixed up the lines. You're gonna have to switch them in and run the lines for a while to get the right flavor to run through the lines. And then also an issue could be not enough ice in the fountain unit. The pop could be flat. So when you fill up the ice, make sure it's touching the back of the metal plate. It should be completely full back there. If you're low on ice, the lines will get warm, causing it to foam up. And when you throw your ice in, make sure your ice scoops are taken out. Sometimes you're missing your ice scoops because somebody buried them there. Your drink pourer should always have gloves, and keep the ice scoop handle not touching the ice or sitting there like that.